In a world where you're banned from computer lab.
Mm. Oh, okay. That's pretty funny. All right, welcome back to another School Principal Reacts. My name is Brandon, and I'm a school principal from the U.S. state of Georgia. We're doing another NEDS today. We're still cruising through this series. This one is called Computer Labs. I'm kind of interested to see what this one is like because I have a feeling what is going to be portrayed here is somewhat different than it is today. This show is, I think, almost 20 years old now. So it's going to be a little bit different the way they talk about computer labs. But I'm interested to see what happens. Still enjoying this series. Probably by far the most realistic and true to life of any of the shows that I've reacted to. But without further ado, let's get into it. Just a reminder, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel.
The Computer Lab. Your school's on-ramp to the information superhighway.
Oh man, the information superhighway. So that term by itself really takes me back. I do remember really in the 90s hearing about this information superhighway. That's what they called it before the term internet was really used. I do remember hearing that, and I didn't really understand what it would be, but they kept talking about the information superhighway. And just to hear Ned here say that really takes me back and reminds me that this show was produced, I want to say 2005. Yeah, after just a real quick check, it was 2004 to 2007. But the internet had been around a while, and they didn't really call it the information superhighway anymore. But nevertheless, let's hear what he says here.
It's technology that is totally helpful.
Mm-hmm.
But be careful not to grow too computer dependent.
Locating. Locker. Locate not yours, not yours.
Yeah, and this is a discussion that often is had outside of education and within education. You know, we talk about, what exactly is the right place or the right degree to which we use technology in general. And in school, we talk about this a lot also about, okay, how much is too much and how much is too little. And yes, technology is valuable, but we don't want to make students lose the skills they would otherwise have as far as things that you have to pick up without technology. We don't want them to lose that and become so dependent upon technology that they can't do basic things. So, yeah, he is right here when he says don't be too dependent on it. And this was in, roughly 2005. So, now it's probably even more the case. I hear this sometimes, people saying that, oh, kids don't even know how to do this, whatever it is, because they're so dependent upon the technology. I think it goes both ways. I think, it's good to take advantage of the latest technology and the latest apps and so forth, but not in lieu of actually learning valuable skills.
Locker. Locating. Begin combination sequence 30012.
Now that's helpful.
Schedule 45 mathematics 216.
Okay.
Locker. Close. Locker.
How's it going, Cookie?
I don't know. Let me check.
How's it going?
Check. Results in 3 minutes. We'll have an answer in 3 minutes.
That's silly.
Good work, Lisa. I told you kids this computer graphing practice.
Yeah, and the other things he was doing, such as remembering his combination and what's next on his schedule, I could see that being helpful. And then the girl asks him how he is, and he says, well, I'll have to check, so poking fun at this issue.
I'm going to get an A++.
Where's Cookie? He promised to print out my project.
I'm worried about Cookie. He's been depending on his computer for everything lately.
Yeah.
Mr. Wright's graph assignment? That's due today?
Yeah. How far did you get?
All right, so a couple of things. Number one, Cookie is pretty dependent upon technology in almost every episode. It's kind of his thing. In this episode, he's just sort of taking it to the extreme. And yeah, particularly in middle school, I do remember occasionally having this sort of realization of horror where you realize that a particular assignment is due that day and you either haven't done it or, aren't even close to finishing. Let me know in the comments if you've ever had that experience. I'm sure you haven't.
You were in the computer lab all week. What were you doing?
Yeah, and just looking at this computer lab, you can tell it's how antiquated it seems now. I do remember back in the day, I was in school prior to this time, but I do remember computer labs because computers in and of themselves were not all that old. They were still a fairly new thing, especially computers like this. You can see with sort of the large monitors and it's just reminiscent of this time so much, the way these computers look. But I remember going to various computer labs. I remember going to computer labs where it was much different than this. There was no Windows. It just had really just DOS, and you had to learn about DOS and how that operating system worked. But computers, even during this time, that were internet capable and had more advanced applications, were a relatively new thing. And so I can understand, just learning about the computer itself. Nowadays, they don't really have computer labs like this. If you go to a school, there you will see rooms with computers in them. Some schools have a computer for literally every student in the whole school. We call that a one-to-one school, meaning there's one device for every one kid. But it's really a means to an end. What I mean by that is you have the computer in order to do various assignments, or in order to somehow learn in a way that you couldn't do without the computer, like collaborating with other students on things, on using digital resources. But in this era, you would do less of that and more just learning about the computer itself and how to use it to do valuable tasks by yourself.
Oh, yeah.
And by the way, I do remember being able to play little simple games. I think many of you may remember the Oregon Trail. I certainly played that. There were other little games that were a little more educational that we were allowed to play. Also typing games. That is how I learned to type. So little valuable things that they had back in the day.
Try to remember to use your computer lab time wisely.
Yeah, and again, I always mention the tips because the tips are always really, really good. And in this era, this tip would be really good because the way it had been for years, and when I was in school, it was this way where your particular class, like your homeroom, if you will, would go to the computer lab maybe once a week or something. And you would be in there, and the computer lab teacher would sort of give you an assignment or allow you to use a particular program. And you would just sort of go with that. Whatever the program was, you were allowed to sort of play around with it until time was up, and then your class left. Nowadays, again, it's not really that way. Computers are much more prevalent, and it's not about just using the computer, but it's about learning to use it in new ways and use it in order to do your assignments or work with other people on digital resources.
I still have one more hour reserved in the computer lab. I can still get it done before Mr. Wright's class.
Cookie's printing my 15-megabyte 3D masterpiece on poster paper. It's gonna rock! You know, in a graph kind of way. There's my favorite cyborg.
Let me guess, you can't do it.
Printing them as we
Pants printer.
Everything's working perfectly. You can relax.
Morning, losers.
Uh-oh. Up there it goes.
Yeah, man.
Everything's not working perfectly.
Uh-oh.
You can panic.
So now I'm guessing he's going to have an issue because he was depending so much on it, and now Loomer has sort of messed him up. And I don't know what Mose is going to do either. Let's see.
Don't tell me you lost my graph.
Okay, I won't. But if I run diagnostics from the computer lab, I can rescue him.
I am right behind you because I got to finish that project that I started and didn't finish, and it looks really bad right now. So I'm gonna... Hey, wait for me.
Beyond sign-up list determines who shall.
Okay, so I was wondering about this teacher. I forgot his name, but I remember not recognizing the teacher's name. So I'm like, is this going to be a newly introduced character? I guess so. Mr. Quest. Quest.
You may enter my domain.
We're with him.
No piggybacks. You must sign on.
Okay, we'll sign up.
It's all full.
There's no more spots on the.
And I haven't seen this before either, even back in the day when there were computer labs. I remember this both in elementary school and in middle school. You couldn't just sign up and go by yourself. You weren't allowed to do that. The way it worked is your class had a particular time, and a lot of times you didn't even know. Your teacher would just say, you know, oh, we're going to the computer lab today, or we're going tomorrow, or whatever. I don't remember even remembering or being told we go at this time every day, a certain day of the week. But it was just more like, oh, I guess we're going. Okay, let's go down there. They all went as a class. You didn't have this sign up system that this guy has.
Computer lab tip. Make sure you sign up ahead of time.
Okay.
If you don't, try going during off hours, like before or after school. There's a good chance you'll find an open station.
Yeah. So again, I've never seen a sign up list like this. And also, I don't think you would be able to, before school, I could maybe see that. After school, you would have to, like with most teachers, you'd have to work it out with them and, hey, can you stay after so I can work on this project or whatever it is. But I could see a system like this kind of working.
If you do come early, make sure you get a good rest. Don't waste valuable computer time trying to fix a computer yourself. Ask your teacher for help.
My entire system's failing.
Emergency.
Emergency.
Let's go, R2.
R2.
No time left. Give us your spot. Cookie's crashing, and he's got to see my project.
I have to do my project. You have to wait your turn.
You're right. I'm sorry. So, bye.
Gerald, what are you doing?
No rowdiness in my domain. Out, all of you.
Kicked them all out.
West, I'm really sorry, but
Yeah, take your sorry butt into the hall. I banish you for 7 solar.
That's funny. Yeah, I've never seen a teacher like this, computer lab or not. He has the whole, almost like some kind of hippie vibe. I'm not sure what's going on here, but he rolls different sided die there. I've seen that with like Dungeons and Dragons and games like that. This guy, I've never seen a teacher like this, but he kicks them all out, which I could see if they were kind of pushing each other. I could see Ned, unfortunately, getting wrapped up in that, and he just kicks them all out. I've seen that before.
7 solar cycles?
That's a week.
Kicked him out for a week.
Now I'm going to fail. Thanks, Ned.
Me? You pulled the chair.
You pulled the chair. Yeah, I
Cut
still
down.
blame you.
Me?
Oh, shit, crap.
Yeah, and I've kind of wondered about this. Cookie always seems kind of weirdly connected to his technology, and I've heard him call himself a cyborg, almost as if, he can't even walk without his little technology device. So I didn't know if that meant he would shut down also, but I guess so.
Cry me a river.
Arguing will get us nowhere. I will come up with a surefire plan that will get us all back into the computer lab.
It's like he's going to
Fine.
fall over.
Let's meet at lunch. I need those graphs by 6th period.
Oh, no technology.
Are you okay?
I don't know my schedule. I don't know where to go.
Your schedule is the same as mine. Come with me. I'll help you.
You're a nice lady.
Oh, wait, it's that way.
You can't see either.
It's cord. You like cord. Is he okay? He just forgot he likes cord. We're toast. Come on. How upset can Mr. Wright get if we aren't finished?
Hi, guys. Just dropped by to say I'll be very upset if you haven't completed your assignment. Anyway, enjoy your lunch.
No, I've never seen that with the teacher coming by at lunch saying, "Oh, I'll be very disappointed if you don't do your assignment." Why do that? Doesn't make any sense.
We have got to get into the computer lab.
You gotta get into the computer lab? I signed up and my work's all done. You could use my time.
Mine too.
Oh, wow.
Problem solved. Except we're banned.
Yeah, I was about to say the teacher kicked him out. So it's not as if they can just go in there on someone else's time. He knows he kicked them out. So I don't know how this is going to work here.
Exactly. Mr. Quest won't let us in.
In a world where you're banned from computer lab,
It's like a trailer.
Two heroes will rise above the rest.
Coconut Head. Hmm. Oh, okay. That's pretty funny. So I thought that it was going to be, Lisa and Coconut Head, but I guess that's pretty good. That's pretty funny. Gotta hand it to him. This episode's been pretty funny so far and still true to life, but in the era that this show is produced, not so much now, but when it was produced, this would be very believable. I can't wait to see what Ned looks like here.
Mosley is Lisa Zemo.
It's pretty good.
And Ned Bigby
look at him.
is Coconut Head.
Perfect.
Sneak back into computer labs after Mr. Quest kicked you out because you need to finish your graph project.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Mr. Quest.
I guess they look close enough to where he thinks it's them, and he should know his students better than that. But I guess if it's a really big school, I could see that maybe. But based on the episodes I've seen of this show so far, it seems like a really small school. I don't think this would work. Although, other than Mose's height, she's so much taller than Lisa is. Pretty close.
Oh, if I did this right, I am about to web chat with 6,000 teachers from over 127 countries.
Okay, and I got worried when he said web chat. Didn't sound particularly good, but he's saying with teachers. And yeah, teachers do collaborate via various platforms, a lot of platforms that are specially designed for that, or there are school social media pages and pages that are meant for that sort of collaboration. So yeah, I could see that.
That can't be good.
Lisa, what did you plug in? You're not Lisa.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Ow!
Uh-oh.
So many colors. No numbers or readouts?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty.
We're allowed outside during lunch.
Maybe there is one.
Yeah, and by the way, I made a comment about this before outside during lunch. That's very different at every school. It sort of depends on the layout of the school and how easy it is for the school to do that. There are schools where you really can't, but most schools have at least some sort of outdoor eating area where you might not have the whole school out there, but more often I have seen where a particular grade level gets to go outside, or maybe you make it some sort of incentive where if you do really well, you let a certain group go out there. I have seen that many times before.
More to life than computers.
I banish you and you sneak back to wreak havoc upon my domain?
What did they
Just
do?
reboot the room or something?
Of course. I just rewire the firewire and then reboot the boot and the USB long, the wire.
You have no idea what you're doing, do you?
Mm.
No.
Yeah, and I don't know what the qualifications of a computer lab teacher would be back in the day. Again, that doesn't really exist anymore, but most school districts, or I should say just about all school districts, are going to have some sort of either IT personnel or a technology director at a minimum who is responsible for making sure that all the technology works properly and also providing some level of training for teachers on how to use it, and also for purchasing the technology for the district. So, if something happened to the computer lab, this individual would be called in and they would try to troubleshoot it for them.
And the school's going to find out and I'm going to lose my job.
Mm.
Cookie could fix it, but you'd have to unbanish him.
Mm.
I can do that.
But he doesn't want to go back.
Mr. Quest will let us back into the lab.
Ned, Lisa's shown me how to watch the clouds, hear the birds, smell the flowers.
Even though I can't smell them myself.
Smell this. The lab crashed. You can fix it. You promised to have my project ready. No one else can do it but you.
But Ned, I've never
He doesn't
stopped
want to.
smell the roses. Okay, done it. Lisa, I must tell my friends.
I understand.
It's probably a simple overload of the internal share buses.
That I don't understand. Goodbye, sweet Simon.
Simon.
You can come with us. Okay.
Oh yeah, Simon. I think is his actual name. I forgot his actual name, but I think that's it. Okay. Whatever that is.
The computer lab is a complex place, so it helps to have at least one person who knows how it works.
The crash was caused by
True.
someone dedicating too much RAM to an international web chat.
The teacher.
So,
Yeah, because I'm like, what did Mose do? She just sat down and it all kind of crashed, but it was the teacher who actually did it. That's pretty funny.
Mo's got her drafts and an A+. Cookie now has a permanent reservation for teaching Mr. Quest how to do his job. And me? I had to get an extension to finish my project. And Mr. Wright is personally making sure I don't waste computer lab time.
Back to work, Mr. Bigby. Use your time wisely.
What's he doing? Oh, yeah.
Mr. Wright. Not on my list.
Is he banished?
Be gone! Seriously. Get out.
I didn't think he could do that.
Don't worry. I think I can help.
Oh, come on. That's pretty funny, though. All right, well, that's the episode. I actually liked that one. It was a little funnier than usual, but still true to life, at least for the era that this show was written for with the computer lab. You don't see that model quite so much anymore, if at all. You do see labs of computers or mobile labs of computers, but they're really for a very different purpose, like I said during the episode. But enjoyed that one. Still enjoying this series. Can't wait to see the administrators of the school. A lot of you have told me about them, but I guess I'll have to wait. But I hope you enjoyed that reaction. Again, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time on School Principal Reacts. Thanks for watching.